All right, welcome everybody. It's been a couple weeks of trying to get this going correctly, and we still haven't figured out the right way to do it. But this is going to work for today. So thanks for joining us. Liliana and me, are going to have an awesome show for you. We're going to be discussing the power of fear in the
I look like
manifestation process.
I look so bad. Honestly, I'm not even prepared for this today, but it's fine. I don't mind. It's as it comes. Universe works.
Liliana, that's your fear talking. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, that's like no, because today I have a wonderful story to tell. But the fear is no fear. The fear is like I look like a Trump basically. I've got no makeup. My hair is absolutely bad. I need to wash it. It's greasy. But nevertheless, I'm here. So no fear.
Perfect. Why don't you take it away then? And if you want to start with your story about fear, and then we can kind of dive into it and how it all works, how it's all interconnected.
Right.
What makes fear so powerful for us in manifesting our realities. Let's just start
Okay.
off there, and you go from there, and I'll take it away then.
Right. Okay. I can only say things by experience because experience is the only teacher. And I have very powerful manifesting during fear because I've been in a situation for a few years where I've explained before, but this is more like in depth reality explanation. I've been through a process where I had a kind of bit of stagnation because of the fear that I was living with. And I had to make a way for me to manifest this fear to go away by obviously positive affirmations every day and raising my vibration every day. And not only that, I had to visualize, and as a Neville tells us to do, how is to live without it. Not the fear itself on the basis of manifesting, because I've never had doubt how this works, but the things that I thought were creating me fear, which were creating me reality fear. So I'm going to give an example. I have been in a kind of on and off narcissist relationship, and a lot of people talk about that. A lot of people try to be silent about it. And the only way I could get out of this fear was to help the other person to evolve and progress itself. So by saying that, because I knew my energy and frequency was not even matching that reality that I was living, in order to manifest things for me, I had to do some work. And when I say I can manifest fast for other people, is because I had to put all these teachings in practice. Now, what I've done was, instead of, because people say stay away from toxic people, stay away from negativity, I tried all that and didn't work. And I was attracting more of that, and the same person kept coming back. So in reality is what I've done was I started to pray for that person instead, right? And this is very powerful. When I wanted to say I started to pray for this person, was to not get away from me. It was for this person to understand my position, right? And I started helping myself by trying to help this person. So it's been a few years of work, hard work. Eventually, the work started to see some fruits. First, as like the trees do, some leaves, and then they blossom, and then the fruits comes. But what I've done of late was the whole month of December and January, I made a decision not to be around certain energies, because that energy was going to be there for me, not because it's bad or toxic or negative. It was just going to set me right back, as I spoke last week. So what I've done was I imagined this person to find somebody else, and I put myself in a position that I was totally freedom look like. This is the power of manifesting in fear. So I put myself, yes, I've been on this fear for quite some time. How it's going to look like if I imagine this person, even though it was a narcissist relationship and I was pretty in love with the person, and how it looks like that I will lose some, but I will gain more. So I've done that, and eventually, within the space of Christmas and New Year, this came to materialize in the most amazing form. The universe knew what I needed, knew what I wanted, knew what I was manifesting in the time of fear. Because believe me, when you are in relationships like that, the fear kicks in big time, and it's not easy to get out. It's easy to coach people and say, you must do this, because the meantime, I was coaching two other women, and I start to say how I am going to apply the teachings on myself, because I thought I was got rid of the problem a year back, but I was feeding the problem. So when you're feeding the problem, it could be for anything. It's because of fear, it's because of pity, because of compassion, and I have all the things, At the time, I had all the emotions going: compassion, pity, but ultimate, and this is what I want to come on. Ultimate is understanding we are one, and the stop judgment towards all things and all beings. And what I've done was I put myself in that person's shoes, and I said, you know what, you are me. At some point, I probably maybe in the other reality, or maybe in the past, I've been you, and I'm not going to create this for me anymore. I'm going to dissolve this, transmute all these feelings of fear into a new reality. And I manage over the Christmas time and New Year. This person came back, because I explained on in the past video or past podcast that I left certain energies behind. And this person came back and said, I met somebody, and I was like, thank goodness for that. I'm free.
Manifested what you wanted, apparently.
Yeah, and the outcome, okay, it could be very painful because the feelings are there and you know what you want, and the fear kicks in again, like, oh, you're lonely and this and that. So what I've done was, I create some new realities for me, which was like, no, you're actually single, free. How does it look like to feel this? So yesterday I was very creative and put a post, my best pictures, and I was like, this is how it's going to feel and look like. So this is the power of manifesting what you desire into reality. It does not necessarily needs to be money. It does not necessarily to be any flash car or any house, fancy house. It could be any small thing that's going to help you to progress and to grow further. And this is where we are.
Nice. I like what you said there. A couple of things that stood out to me. One is just that idea of you get what you focus on. And, you were focusing so much on that fear of separation, that fear of loss from being, the relationship you wanted. And, the more we focus on it, the more we get it. And that's kind of how this whole manifesting thing works.
Yes.
And when we attach, I think fear plays such a huge role in our ability to create, because it taps into that deep-seated emotional struggles that we have, all of the pain, all of the things we've had in our lives, the traumas, things like that. They all are deep-seated within us, and they're tied into us emotionally. So
Yeah.
we start with it. It's easy to create the reality we're thinking about or subconsciously thinking about,
Yeah.
because of those emotions. They're so powerful. It's like I said, Neville Goddard, and the living in the end, the feeling is the secret. Those emotions are what create, in a most part, or what are creating our reality. And it's so easy to play on our emotions through fear. We're seeing it every day. If you still turn on the television, which I recommend you don't, but if you're still turning on the television, everywhere we look is fear. And that is how they're programming us. We're de-evolving through fear. There's so many people out there de-evolving, but us in this group, those watching, there's so many of us out there that are doing the exact opposite. We're using the love and the light, and we're starting to evolve in the opposite direction. I wanted to talk about this subject today with everybody, because it's such an important aspect of our evolution and the overcoming of that fear. And the other thing you said that I totally agreed with was the idea you said, we all have issues, even though we coach people, even though we practice, we try to practice what we preach, and we try to talk about, don't be afraid, do this, don't do that. It still affects us. We're not perfect by any means.
Yeah, yeah,
I called you last week and we talked for a while on an issue that had come up for me, and it unlocked a whole lot of fear that I didn't even know I had. For the
yeah,
last 2-3 years, I've been talking about, there's literally nothing I am afraid of anymore. I have learned that I am one with God. I have learned that I am protected by the armor of God, that there's nothing, this is just a moment in time. And when we transition, we'll go to the next place. So I've got all this up there, belief and faith, and I know what I believe, but at the same time, this hit me last week so hard, and you were so amazing walking me through it, really helping me remember what it is we talk about, what it is we preach. So for those of you, I'll share the story with you because it's been weighing on me now for over a week. And I found out last week, the beginning of the week, that my youngest son, who lives with his mom, he was coerced and more or less manipulated into getting the jab. I don't want this show to be political in any means, whatever your beliefs are on this whole situation we're in and on the vaccines and all of that. That's not as much what this is about, but I have my own personal beliefs. I have my own personal stance I take on it, and that's my right. And when I found out that he had went ahead and gotten this, he said it was his choice, that he wanted to do it. I had such an overwhelming fear and sadness within me that I failed him, that I didn't do enough to communicate, the importance of being informed and knowing what you want to do, putting things in your body. So as we talk about, the more what you focus on is what you get. And I couldn't get my mind out of this idea that, oh my God, what has he done? How will this affect his life moving forward? And it just hurt me. I broke down, I'm crying, I'm trying to come to grips with it. And like Liliana said, he made his choice. This is his soul mission, whichever way that's going to turn out to be. I have all the faith in the world that he is healed, he is happy, and he is healthy. However, that still lingering subconscious thought is, I know what's happened, and that fear. So that's why I wanted to talk about this with you guys and be vulnerable on the show today, because, as much as I talk about overcoming our fears and our traumas, it literally, this came up and hit me from out of nowhere. And I realized that, wow, I still have a lot of trauma and fear that I didn't recognize I had. And I realized that it hit straight to the point, go after my children. And that's a huge trigger for me. So, what are your thoughts on that, Liliana? I think that's a big fear of most people is, anything happens to our children, how are we going to move forward? How are we going to live our life in, as one with God, if something like that is taken from you or injure, harm comes to our family, our friends, how do you deal with that?
Okay, I've got my own experience on that, and that's why I spoke to you about this. And obviously, I apply a few things that we know, and I taught you these things. But how I see it is, I've got a division in family. Not, I don't call it division, but a choice. For example, my son is very tuned in, like me. He lives in Coventry. He works, he managed 2 stores in West Sussex, and nobody ever forced him to do anything like that. And if they did, I knew exactly what I was going to do, because he's like me. When my daughter made the decision to do it to herself, and not for lack of knowledge or anything like that, she just decides it feels right for her. Now, I never put any objection on it, because this is a personal journey. Although my son was awakened when he was 16 years old, my daughter, she's not yet awakened. All right, she's got a lot of common sense. She's a very intelligent girl. She's very creative, a superb mom. I'm not saying this because they're my children. It's because my daughter is one in a million, basically. And she said to me, Mom, end of the day is my choice. You know, it's not like he's doing good or better. I know it will dissolve from my body at some point. And when she said that, I was like, you know what? I think she's been divine guided as well. Whether she made this choice of doing or not doing, she knew that that will dissolve from her body. And this is her belief. And that belief is what counts to me. This will dissolve from her body at some point, mainly because she's like me. She eats very well, fruits, vegetables. She drinks water. She doesn't drink like alcohol all the time. She doesn't like alcohol. She's like me, but she has a lifestyle that not many have. So on the basis of the nutrition itself, she will detox this really well from her body. So I said, it's fine. So I embraced that choice. I didn't make any fuss of it, and I didn't dwell on it either, because I put myself in her shoes. When I was her age, I wasn't awakened. So it's not the right time for everyone. This is a soul mission, and we have a mission, all of us. I can't see the comments, I'm afraid. So if there's anybody comment, please tell me so we can talk about this with people.
Yep.
But my daughter had no fear when she took the job. And she said, you know what, Mom, I want to see my grandmother. She needs me now. This was over Christmas. And no matter what, you know, I'm going to do it because I want to go. And she had the time of her life. She came to much relief after the holiday with her grandmother. And I think she fulfilled the mission. So everything is like a mission. We all have to trust, because we can't just go on and say, I'm not going to do it. And nobody can do it. Nobody should do it. We are different, and everything is perfect. Everything is perfect, and everything comes to test us. How are we going to react to it? And then you go, you'd reacted last week, it put you really down because you spoke to me and I spoke to you. And I said, you know what? It's absolutely fine. I don't dwell on it. If people say I'm vaccinated, for me, I don't see them as division, because what is here now, it's creating division. And we are trying to get out of this division. So if we dwell on the vaccinated and non-vaccinated, we are again judging and dividing. So I say now, whatever, don't care, not bothered. Everything is here for a reason, and all is a purpose to be. That's it. That's just how I see it. I don't dwell on it. I don't cry over it. It's fine. We all have the free will to do whatever we want.
I love that. And when we spoke last week, you reminded me of, again, living in the end. You said your daughter, she believes that she's healthy. She believes that she will be fine. You said you believe that it'll dissolve from her body. And it made me remember, all of the faith and all of the belief I've had in the past, and of where we're headed, where the new world is taking us, and the idea that med beds will be available at some point in time for people, and all of these people will be healed again. And it's so easy to forget.
Exactly.
Fear plays such a powerful role. It made me forget in the vision that I have, in the dream that I'm creating. This is my universe to create. This is your universe to create. And when we allow fear to come in, it literally, it puts a fuzzy coat over it, makes everything blurry. And we forget how powerful our visions, how powerful our thoughts are. And now that subconscious thought was just running around like a hamster wheel, trying to distract me from the vision I have of what I'm choosing to create in my reality. So you really helped get me through that. And I appreciate that. Like I said, we all need help at times. We all get distracted. We all lose our focus, on what the big picture is. So it's really nice to, be open with you guys and just let you know that, I too, still apparently have triggers that are causing fear within me. Let's look at some of George. Hey, thanks for joining us. Said getting one mRNA shot doesn't condemn him physically. I don't get flu shots. Yeah, I agree with you, George. You know, I feel like one will be okay. It'll work itself out. Maybe even two. You know, so I choose to create a world where he is healthy, and I choose to live in that. That's something I've done for quite a while, is when I allow those thoughts of fear to come in, I try and shut them down like instantly and say, no, that may exist in some reality, in some dimension, but it does not exist in this reality, the one I'm physically in control of. It doesn't exist. It has no more power. So I more or less banish it off, and I say, you know, I'm not giving that any more thought. So I think that's a big key. Wouldn't you agree, Liliana? And in overcoming our fears, one, it's rational. You know, we have to look at fear as, is it rational, irrational? And most fear is irrational, if not all fear.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I was
you
gonna
know,
say that.
so when we can understand that fear is irrational and it's not real, it becomes much easier to basically banish it off and get it out of our subconscious mind. That's a key to overcoming fear.
Yeah, because fear will stop you from manifesting what you want, and that could be anything. I mean, I was in fear for a while with this relationship myself, but then along the way, this is so powerful. What I'm going to say, I healed and I helped that person to become a better version of herself. So my fears become my realities by manifesting itself what I wanted to become. And it was during this relationship that I woke up to the reality that I live now. So I had a spiritual awakening for many reasons possible, maybe through a lot of suffering that people could not see at the time. Maybe I was disguising it really well, all this fear I had inside. And then ultimately for me was to let go what I thought I could not live without, because you become so attached to people, you kind of love them, you don't want to let them go, but you don't want to be there. You don't, it's, although we are so compassionate, I am towards people, we must not give our heart away too much. When we give our heart away more than is necessary, then we're losing our power again, and the fear kicks in, because when we lose our power over people, we can't manifest, we cannot make things work for us. It's some sort of stagnant energy there. And then you understand the thing, but is applying to yourself. That is the other thing. When we apply that to any, it could be anything, it could be a job, it could be, I don't know, a lottery winning, it could be anything. There is some element of fear on everything we do because we always have a doubt. So I was not letting go of that relationship. I'll tell you what, 100% my responsibility to let it go. 100%. And I was not responsible through it because the fear was like, do you know what? I left my marriage. My husband is not longer here. I don't mind to talk about this public because this is helping me heal now. Okay. And I was like, okay, so I bet in a wrong relationship now. Nothing is working for me. And the fear kicks in every time. Every thought, it's fear creation. And I was like, how I'm going to do this, I don't know, but I'm going to trust everything will be for my highest good. It doesn't matter if I feel lonely, if I feel sad, if I feel pain, if I feel depressed, if it's going to take 1 year to heal my heart, 2 years, 1 week, 1 day, I will trust it. So, yes, the fear comes back after you ask for what you want and it actually happened, and there's an element of solitude again and sadness and loneliness. That's why I made a live yesterday, because it overwhelmed me during the new year. I mean, today is the 25th. We're talking about at least for 2 years, 2 weeks, it was overwhelming. This feeling of not knowing next what's gonna happen. But I said, you know what, Father, I always call him Father. People calls anything to the universe. I say Father in heaven because I do believe in a Father, in a higher power. Okay, heaven is the higher power, although we know heaven is inside and out of us as well. But I call it a Father. I said, I know this is going to be for my highest good. And this has happened because I manifested and visualized myself. Without it, it's because I'm now in a position of receivership. And since then, 2 meditations I've done, I had a thought that I was going to meet. I spoke to one of my best friends for 2 nights in a row, or 3 nights in a row, actually. And I said, you know what? I have this feeling, this impression, this voice, this little gentle voice saying, you're going to meet somebody that's going to change your life. And I was like, nobody can change my life. Only I can change my life. And I keep saying this to me, I change my. And the voice keeps saying, this release was for your highest good. Although it can be painful, something that match your energy is ready now to enter, because finally you let go of the energy that serves you no longer. It's so easy to become attached to things and to people, even family, friends, lovers, whatever you want to call them. But if they're not for the highest good, it's not wrong to let them go. And I say this to everybody because, Joey, you might notice this week. We just received very intense energies, and they're gonna go until the 2nd of February until 22nd of February. And a lot of couples are going to split up from this energy until end of the February month. And I've done this live, and 2 people came on live, and they told me yesterday on my live they had one was broken in a relationship of 11 years, another one was breaking a relationship of 16 years. So what I felt was somewhat what the collective is going through. So I'm always the first one to feel these things. And I felt it on me because I've asked for my release, but powerful enough to be and say loud and clear, I was not just releasing my own not wanted energy. I think I kind of release it with this wish collectively. A lot of things are not matching anymore. And all these friends are coming to me now saying, it's finished. And I said, look, this happened to me, and this is going to be for your highest good, and I can assure you this. So this is a great thing. When this was how powerful manifest I am towards other people, because I did not release only myself. I think collectively I'm helping to release some frequencies on some families that are not matching any longer. And if you are one of these people watching, be assured everything is perfect. It can be painful, lonely, sad, depressive. It could let you. Don't let that little voice. It's like the goals that we have in life. Don't let that little voice lead you, because that little voice can take over and put you astray and right back from the beginning when you started. Don't let it. So
That's, you hit the nail on the head. I feel like there in talking about, letting go of those things that don't serve us. And it's really about letting go of the fear of it. It's the, we want we want to be connected with people. It's part of our human nature. It's our tribe. We want to be, that fear of not connecting, that fear of not being accepted. That plays a huge role. And what you're saying is just let it go. If they're not serving you, if whatever is happening in your life is not serving you right now, you have to let it go. And the beautiful thing that we're told in so many Bible scripts, religious texts around the world is, when we let things go, they come back to us. The more you give, the more you receive. So I think that the key is really to trust and have that faith in letting go, letting God lead the way, letting spirit lead the way. And if it's meant to be, things are going to come back to you in truly unbelievable just ways that we couldn't even have imagined. I mean, the only way we could imagine them is in our subconscious mind, because they are so unbelievable at times. But we just have to be able to let go of that fear of control. Forget it. I think we all forget that we really have no control over anything. And that's a big fear for most people. I know it used to be for me. I couldn't even fly. When I'm flying airplanes, I used to get really nervous because I wasn't in control. When I'm driving a car, I'm in control, I believe. I can watch traffic coming, but when I'm flying in an airplane, totally irrational fear. I'm one of the safest places I could probably be in the world. But back then I would get so nervous about flying because who's this pilot? What's he been doing? What did he drink last night? You know, all those things start going through your mind. Is he hungover? Whatever, to where it's so fearful for so many people. And now when I fly, I just sit back and enjoy the ride. You know, it's like when turbulence used to get turbulence, used to freak me out, and I'd be holding on for dear life thinking we're going to crash. And then I realized, and I've learned, that turbulence has never brought down a single airplane like in the history of flying. So once again, that's that irrational fear that drives us until we realize the logic and the facts. And it's like, oh, okay, you're just hitting air pockets and you're just kind of bouncing around, and there's literally nothing to fear. Once you can get to that point and let go, it becomes fun again. It becomes a journey. You know, let's see if we don't have any questions yet. We've got some comments. Sean DeRocher, loved your message, Liliana. I know you can't read. She can't read the
No,
live chat today, so I'm having to do it for her.
Sean is on the group. Thank you, Sean. He's a group expert. He's got an amazing story. I wish we can bring him to this live one day. He's got an amazing story. I'm sure he's not gonna mind if I or share a little bit how he became his own fears. He used to be like in drugs and maybe homeless. I don't recall the conversations. We had so many conversations. He's a great friend. He became a great friend, and he let go of those fears himself. And he's a great person, a great example how fears can keep us there, because it's easy. I mean, I say this with my brother, as well, because they come on and off drugs, and once you come off your fear, but then your fear wants to go back in it again, like saying I need some more, and we can never get out. I mean, with this relationship that I had, it was like a vice. I call this relationship that I've been like a drug, as an addiction. This was absolutely an addiction. I mean, everything was great, but it was not for me. It just like didn't feel right for me. And the way you can do this is for anybody to listen right now. The way you do it, you don't argue with the person anymore. You actually stop arguing and you ask for what you see yourself doing, but pleasing the other person and say, I just send you light and love, and I see you really happy now without me. It's gonna be painful, and especially what I've asked was very painful. I've asked for something that not many people can ask for. Okay, I've asked to see this person in a new relationship really happy, because I tell you what I've asked. The last thing I wanted is to have this person after me time and time again, because I tried it for 2 years to get rid of this person. Not in a bad way. It's a lovely person, um, but not when I needed to be. So I had to put myself in a state of what I'm going to earn and what this person is going to gain. Well, I will earn everything possible, including myself, and this person is going to find some energy matching, because we just don't match. It's not like we don't love each other, it's just not the perfect match. And when it's not the perfect match, a lot of people say, but nothing is perfect in life. Yes, no. But when we are in this sort of frequencies, and Joe knows what I'm talking about, it's harder to keep a relationship because the frequencies don't match. It doesn't matter if the person tries his hardest, if the frequency is not the same, and if you don't see that person happy, if you don't imagine that person happy, which is a very big request. Nobody that I know in my life asked for anything like this, which is, I let you go, off you go to some with somebody else, and I still here, I keep here, single, suffering, whatever, because I didn't see myself suffering. I imagine myself allowing the universe to give me what I'm entitled to receive in a better way. So now I know that this was a open door to receivership. When you understand what is let go, fear in reality, because I know what is fear in reality, all sorts of fear. I've tried them all now. I have them all. When you understand this reality of you let go some fear, that it's all kinds of fear in a way. Imagine the relationship. People talk about love is the most powerful thing, right? and the relationship is the most difficult to let go. Everybody can let go a job, you can let go a car. If your life doesn't go well, you can let go a business to make yourself happier. But when it comes to relationships, it's so hard to let go of that person. What I've asked was genuine to that person to find some equal frequency to her, so I could not be in pain no more. And although it brings pain after you let go, you know this pain is going to be transmuted. And I have to acknowledge my feelings several times a day. Okay, this for anybody who's watching. Acknowledge your feelings several times a day. Stop if you must, because that's what I do. And then you go back to the state of, yes, it was for the highest good. If it wasn't for the highest good, this would never ever manifested into reality that I created myself. It would never did. Because it did, the way I've asked is because it's the right thing to ask. It's about asking the right questions, seeing the right things happening for you. Let it go with compassion, because I know I've been there to help this person. And I can tell you, Joey, this person is the most transformed person that I've seen in my life. This person just done a complete transformation on itself that I can't believe I helped. And now knowing that I helped the transformation, I let go even deeper love, because nobody can do this. It's very hard. I know I'm here for a reason, and it doesn't matter if the person is out now for a good reason. It's my manifest, it's my creation, and I'm now allowing an invitation, open public invitation to the universe, which is all of us. The right energy will be here for me to let me receive what I'm entitled to. And that's what I can say.
You touched on a very important aspect there that I heard you mention multiple times, and that was the idea of the pain, that this is painful. When we experience fear, it's painful. And, this is a necessary function of our evolution. If you go back to the raw material and the law of one, you get into a lot of these negative frequencies. Richard asked a question about frequency. I'd love to address it here in a second. But we get into these negative frequency bands, more or less, and they're always coming to us. But it's, and the dark entities that are out there, they feed off of this fear, they feed off of this negativity. And it's our mission, it's our purpose to recognize when that frequency, when that fear is kicking up on us. That's a evolutionary moment. That is a time we can either choose to not see the fear, choose to have faith and let go and move in the direction of the light, or we repeat the same thing. We stay stuck, or we fall even further backwards.
Exactly.
And that's the energy that it's absorbing, it's sucking from us. And it's finding that balance. I've always said, it's not being on too far into fear, not being too far, on the right, on the left. It's finding that happy balance in order to see when those frequencies are jumping up and down. It's like, oh, I'm not getting on that roller coaster. I'm going to stay right here in the center, and I'm going to keep control of my own mind, my own energy, my own frequency. So Richard said, question, but if their frequency is close, I don't know if he meant to say closed or close, then can't you together equalize the frequencies? I think that's yes and no, at least from my understanding of it, and my experience. You cannot change somebody that does not want to change. No matter how much frequency you want to put into it, how much love you want to put into it, can you change your reality and your version of the script? Absolutely. But you can't change their reality and their version of their script unless they are willing co-creators with you. It's exactly. So yeah, go ahead, Liliana.
Thank you. You just nailed it so well, because the reason I let go was because I've tried so hard. I am the most persistent person that you can ever meet in your life. I will do anything to see a person succeed. Honestly, I do. And I know this person, if they try a little bit harder, they could be very successful. I'm not saying they, the person itself, the he person I'm talking about, could be really successful if he just gave a little room to open this energy that I have instead of mockery. Because I had mockery, like saying, oh, talk to the astronauts and things like that. Not even angels. He said, you talk to the astronauts. I said, that's fine, no problem. But it's you that I want to change. I don't want to change you as a person because you can't do that. I wanted to elevate to my standards. I cannot go down or to your level because that will not allow me to progress further. I will not grow there. Actually, I will learn even less than what I've learned until now. So it's my decision. Do I want to grow or do I want to stay where I am? Or do I want to lower my frequency? And this is the hardest decision you have to make, even though they could be love and you renounce this. You say, no, I don't love you anymore. Just go away because I don't want. So you kind of neglect the person a while, so the person eventually, you have to be clever how you do this, especially with the narcissist relationships, because they're very controlling, they're very needed. Like, I mean, in this occasion, the person changed so much, they become no controlling, no needed. In the end, was just the little bit, it was just this little bit that it changed, which was the alcohol at the weekend, I could not see myself spending my life with somebody that drinks every single weekend. And I was like, do I want to live a life like that? Am I playing a good frequency? No, I can't change that person. Respect to the person. You want to live that life? Yes. Thank you so much, but not for me. Thank you. And it's kind of hurt so much because you know where you are, but at the same time, you have to let it go. You can't be attached to that energy because you're not growing. I was not growing. I could not grow any further. I was just actually stagnating and learning less. Everything that I was learning was like, go away from my head. And now everything is coming back again and everything is more settled. And it's painful to watch. Of course it is. Do you want to be in a bad relationship with this person or do you want to become a friend with this person? Depends how you see it. Because you remember, you've been the person who helped that person to evolve. In some aspects, I was the helper. I came to hold his darkness to bring light. And I know this. So my agreement that I made with this person in there was you're going to meet, you're going to learn from each other. I've learned big lessons here, Joe, as well. I learned massive lessons in here. And one of those lessons was to not hurt anybody ever again. But now that I can see this further down the line, that is going to be in the same frequency with the same atmosphere, smoking, drinking, party, I don't feel jealous. I don't feel like it's not going to be that painful anymore because in a year's time, maybe less, maybe 3 months, maybe half a year, when I'm going to look back and I say, look, this could be me still. And now I'm further up the line. I'm further down the line because I jumped, I made a decision. Once you make that decision, always remember, has to be for your highest good. It doesn't matter how painful it gets. You need to know this is your highest good. And this is what I've done. And I not just only help myself, I help to release some stagnant energy around me. And that could be because when we meet people and some people that are connected to me automatically release their patterns as well. And there's some couples splitting. I'm not saying this is good, splitting up is not nice, but other couples are feeling the same. And the universe, it's like the universe make this impact on people. If they are very close to you, you do it, and then you open the door to the other two. It's like you go in to eat a burger. It's an empty place. I don't eat burgers, by the way, but just an example. You go to, there's nobody there, and suddenly you go in, and there's two cars watching. You say, it must be good this person's going. You've got a very well dressed, you've got a nice dress on. Oh, it must be good because that person looks good. And then you go in, and then the other person goes in, and then full restaurant or for a full burger place. It's the same thing. The energy attracts energy. So I helped release some other energies around me, I guess. This is the way I can describe it. I don't know if there's anybody watching, what they say, what they think, but
Yeah, we've got people watching. Richard's been commenting. He had a good one there. He's let a handful of people go over the years. He said, but best friends for 40 years. And I think that's a huge issue we're dealing with in today's at this exact moment, in our evolution is that idea of if we're not resonating with even lifelong friends and family members, that it's okay to step away.
yeah,
If they, like you said, if they're not serving you, that was a huge fear I had before I started doing reality practice and I started putting myself out there. Huge fear. What will people think? What will my friends that have known me? What will my family that have known me? What will people think about my beliefs and what I talk about? And I had to literally let some of my closest and best friends, I had to let them go last year
yeah,
because I wasn't receiving the positivity that I wanted out of them. The frequency, I would only get comments from them, even though I knew they were seeing my posts. I would get comments from them very rarely, but they would be negative.
negative.
They would
Yeah,
be something calling me out or questioning something that I believe in, not in an argumentative way, but in a way that they never responded. They never showed any engagement in the good things that I posted and the inspirational things, or in like just my family life. Like, okay, we go on vacation somewhere and we're having a great time. Do they ever compliment or do they ever like it? And, so happy for you. No, it was never anything except for that negative dig here and there, is all I ever heard from them. And finally, at some point in time, I'm just like, you know what? I don't care anymore. Unfollow, unfriend. They're gone. They're out of my life. And it's been a
yeah.
huge release for me.
The
If
universe,
people are
did
not,
that for,
what's that?
the universe did that for me because my phone was hacked and 3,500 connections just vanished from my Facebook, and I'm only on 2052, but they all like us attracting the same energy, and people say, "Oh, I'm so glad that we're friends. I needed this today. I need to hear this today," and you grow. Your love just grows, and your
Mm,
frequency is raising up higher and higher because you attract the better people that you want to see in your life. They're not like the materialistic type. And people say, "Oh, it's okay to have money." Yes, it's okay to have money, but money with materialism, it's a different thing, you know. This is another topic for another day. And it gets so overwhelming. People say, "Oh, I'm so happy that I attract to you now because I feel like I found my tribe." And I was like, "Yeah, but I didn't have a tribe. Or like you, I was following other tribes. So we become one big tribe." It's like, it's so
absolutely.
amazing. It's so amazing because what I give out, I know I don't do many lives, but I post, I believe, quite good content that when I started, I had like 3 or 4 people following me. And now I know I have a fair amount of followers. I have, when I post something, people say, "I don't want followers." I tell people, nobody's my follower. I teach nothing. I learn every day. You know, I learn every day and I learn from everyone, but they seem like resonate with my content and they are grateful for it. And once you know you're serving with a higher purpose, you know you made the right choices. And maybe these people that I let go, I have some attachments in my Facebook with this person that I let go. Eventually, they will fade away. I'm not gonna take them out of my Facebook, never. But eventually, they will fall away. They were gonna say, "She's even more crazy." Next year, probably will be in another platform again, and they're gonna still in their realities. Call it what you like, 3D, 4D, whatever. We might be a 67D next year. We don't know what we're talking about, but let's put a reality right there. And they're probably gonna step into our reality now and say, "Oh Christ, now I understand. Oh, damn, I lost a good woman because of this, and now I'm going to go through, because eventually the collective will all wake up. We can't force them, but it's going to happen for everyone. Okay. So next year, they were going to say, oh, now I got it. Oh my gosh. And I made so much mockery. But then we are so far ahead. We may be healing them now. Now they need us to heal them. Now they need us to do some work on them. And there we are. We've been mocked where now we need it. And I said to every single one that mocks me, I said, I take no offense, because I will be here when you're going to need me, because I will assist you. And this is the magic of it. When these people are going through it, and they're going to know, they will come back. Oh, I remember that she used to put something like that. Let's scroll down. Let's, and they're going to try to find what was it for them that resonate with their new reality, because it's going to happen eventually.
Right.
So everything is perfect. Everything.
George just made a comment that's right on. You know, he says, I don't want to teach anyone how to be. I just try to live as an example and let things unfold for me now.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the right way to live, you know, to move forward. We always project out, you know, how we want to be and what we want to see in the world and create in the world. So it comes from us. Whether people get on board with it, whether they understand it, that's not their job. Your job is to just continue on the path, moving forward, sharing your light, sharing your love, affecting and helping as many people as we can by our actions. But at the end of the day, when they're ready, when they want to learn, when they want to understand, they'll come to us. Either they will or they won't, or they'll go somewhere, you know, and ask somebody. But, you know, to be focused on an irrational fear of, you know, being liked or losing people out of your lives. Yeah, I think that's been a huge aspect of this show today, is letting go of the things that don't serve us. You know, that's the most important theme. That's the most important theme of fear. Let go of the fear. Trust in God and spirit to protect us no matter what happens. Hey, we're getting to the top of the hour here, Liliana. I know you said you were on a hard deadline. You got to get out of here for something. So if you want to say any last few words, let's wrap it up for the day. And thank everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you, Joey. I want to say thank you for everybody that watch this every week, because this is an hour. Obviously, it's an hour of your time, but there is much value in it, because we only teach from experience, right? And we're not teachers ourselves. We just become to understand ourselves a little bit better, how the human reality now that is here is behaving. So if there's any of you, the last words is, if there's any of you have confusion over it, we have tons of material. I'm going to take this opportunity to say, please contact Reality Practice for a one-to-one coach. We will coach you, we will help you, we will teach you. If you can't afford it, we will find a package that's suitable for you. We will deal with it. We're here to help you as well. Remember, I paid thousands and thousands of pounds for coaching, and I had to leave some things behind that would not longer resonate with me. Not because I was not in a good platforms. It was because this is my path and I know my purpose. And because this is my path and I know I'm here for a bigger mission. Guys, this is not the earthly mission anymore. There's a higher power. There's something behind the scenes that most of you can't see, that we already tapped into it. And Joey knows what I'm talking about. And when I say most of us are tapped into it now, it doesn't mean that we know everything. We can only guide you and lead you to the right way, because there is some confusion how to tap into your real power. And to tap into your real power, not everybody else can do it. Some of us are very good to get there fast, and some of us need, it's like some children don't need help in the toilet, but some children, mommy, please take me to the toilet. It's exactly the same, guys. There's no right, no wrong how you're going to do it, paid or unpaid. I don't normally charge on personal base to base in certain things because I've done a deal, but reality practice is working for us and to us to help us grow. So if you feel like this is for you, contact Reality Practice direct. and we will find the right. Just leave a comment or just send me a private message or Joey, and honestly, we will guide you all the way, and we will find something that suits you, because not all shoes are feet size, so we have to find the right one. And that's what I
Absolutely.
have to say.
Thank you. Very, very well said. Yes, we don't ever really talk too much about that aspect of everything of what we do. You know, we're on our lives, my interviews, different videos, and yeah, you know, we'd love to work with anybody that wants to learn more about this. So definitely reach out to Liliana and me, Facebook page, MyRealityPractice.com, offer different coaching services and really help you understand this power that's within each of us and how we can grow it and help unite and connect with the rest of the world through this power. So, Liliana, great show today. I
Thank
hope you
you.
get to feeling better. I know the energies are crazy
Yeah,
right now. I'm feeling
yeah,
them too. I know most every one of us that are awoke are experiencing this shift right now. So just stay
what a nice
strong,
word.
everybody. We are fighting through it. We are
Yeah,
on the final stages. We just
yeah,
got to break through that last layer of ice, and
yeah,
the
yeah,
world will soon become a fantasy that we've never imagined before. So until
exactly.
next week, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your comments and questions, and we will talk with you soon. Bye, Liliana. Bye, guys.
Bye, Joey. Thank you, guys. Wherever you are. I love you guys. Ciao.